Months later, I had new glasses and a little more courage. We were hanging out near a local convenience store. Me, Kyle, Chad, and a bunch of others. Kyle and I got bored and decided to revisit the woods. We'd been back a few times since that day, and nothing had happened. Chad didn't want to come. He was too busy trying to impress a girl, and called us Boy Scouts for even bringing it up. Whatever. We went anyway. It was already dark. Our only light came from our phones. As we got deeper, we reached the long stretch of gravel road that connected both poys. That's when we saw it. Someone was standing at the far end, just under the edge of a streetlight. The light spilled over from a nearby parking lot, casting this long, creepy shadow. We could make out his silhouette, arms slightly raised. He looked tall, freakishly tall, somewhere around 7 feet 6 inches or 8 feet. At first, we thought it was just some junkie, but then Kyle said maybe he needed help. I called out, "Hello? Sir, do you need help?" No response. Then he waved sort of. It was robotic, like he didn't remember how a wave worked. His arm just jerked up and down, elbow stiff, hand motionless. That's when we heard it. Help. It sounded like a woman, maybe a teenage girl, but it was wrong. No fear, no panique, no urgency, just flat, emotionless, like someone reading the word off a teleprompter. We ran. We grabbed the others and brought them back, but by the time we got there, the figure was gone. Movie Camera want part 2? It's coming soon. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss the scariest part, because it's not over yet. Once we caught our breath, I angrily asked Kyle why he'd pulled the plug like that. I thought he was messing with me. But when I looked at him, I saw something rare. He was dead serious. He said he saw something standing in the trees, watching me. I asked if it was a person. He just muttered, "God, I hope so." Chills ran down my spine. I insisted we check the tree lean by the road. As we walked, I realized something was wrong. I wasn't even sweating. In fact, I was shivering. I checked my phone. 80 degrees. Kyle said he felt cold too. That's when we saw it. A figure was standing in the woods, about 20 feet in. I couldn't make out much. My vision was crap back then, but Kyle could. What I thought was a brown jacket turned out to be a dark orange raincoat. The figure wore black pants, but his face was obscured. Then it moved. We froze, watching him step closer to us. My body reacted before my mind. I ran, right into traffic. I nearly got hit, but Kyle grabbed me and pulled me across the street. We turned back and saw the man again, this time standing just inside the trees, no more than 3 yards in. I was staring when something flashed. A white blur. Kyle screamed and took off running. I chased after him, and when I caught up, he told me the white blur I saw was the same figure he had seen earlier. Only now, it was leaping toward the man. We didn't go back to those woods for over a month. What do you think that blur was? Let me know in the comments. And if you're still with me, hit subscribe to see where this goes. Just as a preface, this story is about a year old. Some details may be fuzzy, but the fear, that still feels fresh. This all happened across 3 distinct events, spread over several months. And every single one of them pushed the limits of what we believed could be real. We were freshly out of middle school, young, dumb, and hungry for adventure. My closest friends at the time were Kyle and Chad, fake names. Me and Chad lived in the same neighborhood, and Kyle was just a few minutes away in another development. There were 2 woods that we regularly explored. One was near my house, and the other near a friend named Nico's. We called that one Nico's Forest. That place had a vibe, one that made our skin crawl, and it was known for sketchy stuff like homeless squatters and drug use. My woods felt safer. Still creepy, but safer. We were obsessed with the thrill, even if we never admitted how scared we actually were. The first incident happened when Chad couldn't hang out, so it was just me and Kyle. We were heading into my woods. These woods aren't deep or remote. They're hemmed in by streets and houses, but that didn't make them any less eerie. They had 2 sketchy poys, the crack shack and the amp house. The crack shack was basically a rotting structure with a narrow entrance, while the amp house was a tent nestled deeper in the woods. Whenever we checked them, they were different. Items moved, sometimes freshly disturbed areas. Someone was clearly living there. We were nearing the crack shack when Kyle suddenly yanked my shirt. I spun around, and he flashed our emergency get out now signal. Without question, I bolted with him out of the woods. If you've ever felt like you were being watched, smash that like button. It gets creepier. We thought it was just an old forest. A few trails, some shady shelters, maybe a sketchy guy or two. But what we saw in those woods changed the way I look at the night forever, and some of us never went back.